What's up, YouTube? This is Defcon 3 Security. I'm coming at you from somewhere here on Spaceship Earth. So today, my shift was changed a little bit. I got a call from the boss man, and he says, "Hey, pretty soon you're going to be working day shift for the next few weeks because the current guard has that illness that's floating around. So he tested positive. And for the next 14 days he cannot be here, so I'm not sure what my shift will look like for the next few weeks. They said day shift, but hopefully it's something desirable. My fear is that they're going to have me do all of his hours, and this is a guy that does I think he does 78 hours a week, and there's just no way I would do 78 hours. I run my other business and I wouldn't have time. So here I am, working graveyard, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Tomorrow I got a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then Sunday I have a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And hopefully I get Monday through Friday off. That was the agreement with us. I would only work 3 days a week from now on. Let me get this light adjusted. But ever since I made that deal with my boss to work 3 days a week only, I've noticed that I've been working more days a week. So much for that. Man, I gotta bring a special light just for this vehicle. I wonder if I turn this on. Oh, that helps a little bit. Okay. Yeah, much better. Who would have thought, right? I forgot that I'm in a different vehicle today. This is my Toyota FJ Cruiser. Really great car. Super comfortable, but the gas mileage is horrible. I finally, for the first time, checked my gas mileage for the first time in like a year and a half. On the freeway, I'm getting like 18.6 miles per gallon. I can imagine on the street, it's going to be a lot less. So I don't take this too often, but lately I just want to be comfortable, especially that I'm doing 12-hour shifts. I want to have a vehicle that's totally roomy. Here, I'll give you a little look in the back. You'll see I put a little bed back here. The only thing that's out of place is a gas can. I just didn't know where to put it, but this is pretty spacey. I got myself a nice little inflatable bed in case I, need to catch a couple Z's on my break. All right, so today's subject is who should not be a security guard. All right, I've got a lot of points here, so I better start going through them. Some of them are obvious, some of them not so obvious, but it's just some content. I felt like talking to you guys. I like when you guys say things in the comments. Sometimes it's humbling, sometimes it's informative. But if I keep making videos, you guys will keep commenting, and I get to know more about what you guys do. I really do wish that everybody on this channel that subscribes and comments, I wish you guys all had your own channels with content, because I love hearing you guys talk. And sometimes it's like, wow, I'm the only one speaking here. With the exception of comments, we've got so many bright people out there. And I'm like, man, I want to learn from you guys. A few of you guys, just blow me away with all the certifications you have, the experience. And I'm thinking, why are you listening to me? Like, I'm just in this industry so far. I'm a nobody. And I've got guys that have been doing this for so many years and have accomplished so many things. So I feel humbled. But at the same time, it just, it inspires me to push further and more. I do want to learn, and the more you guys comment and inform me about stuff, the more effective I can be in getting out there and passing this information on. All right, so who should not be a security guard? And this is just from my personal observations too, right? So I would say a cowboy should not be a security guard. And when I say cowboy, I mean somebody that's trigger happy. The last person you want to be armed is somebody that just keeps going for their firearm. That is like the last thing you want to do in an incident. And I've been clear about this quite a few times. Your firearm is the very last tool that you have in your arsenal to de-escalate. And hopefully it never comes down to that. The next person, it should not be a security guard. Well, somebody who is going to be stuck in that industry for many years and just basically be a door shaker. I made a video about that, I think yesterday, and I kind of went on about how some people just get stuck in this field and they'll do it for like 20 years and make 15, 16 bucks an hour for their whole life. And those people really shouldn't be security guards. They need to shoot for higher. If you feel like you're going to be stuck in this industry, then just get out of it. I mean, just for your sake. I'm sure, there are people that enjoy doing security and the pay comes second, but I mean, I don't know, man. I couldn't picture doing this for that many years and only making 15, 16 bucks an hour and try to retire as a security guard. It's not for me. Maybe it is for other people, but I feel those people should not be security guards. If you've done it for 20 years and you have not moved up the ranks at all, you got to do something else. Let's see. Somebody that cannot stand for 8 hours. Now, I know that disability acts allow for accommodations for people that cannot stand. So this rule is sort of, it can waver a little bit. But for the most part, at least in my company and the others that I've worked for, if you are put on a standing post, they're going to want you to stand. I've had a few jobs where there's no chairs or nothing. They says, well, it's a standing post. You can expect to be standing for 8 hours a day. And if I say I can't stand 8 hours a day, they probably would have told me, well, then we need to have you be reassigned somewhere else, or maybe you just don't fit what we're looking for. So if you can't stand for 8 hours a day, assuming that's what the post asked for, it will definitely not be a job for you. All right. Who should not be a security guard? Somebody that hates being alone. Granted, humans are, for the most part, communal. Yeah, there you go. Communal. We like to have interactions with other people, and nobody likes really being alone. Well, then you do have people that do like being alone. I take that back. You have your introverts and extroverts, but for the most part, if you don't like being alone, this probably isn't a job for you. There are days where I go, like today, man, I literally have been here for 6 hours, I think, already, and I have not seen a single person. I've not said hi to a single person, with the exception of watching YouTube videos. I really haven't had any kind of human interaction. And it's been 6 hours. I get a little bit antsy, and I really do want to talk to somebody just to say, hey, how's your day? Or, just any sort of human interaction. And gosh, I've still got, 6 more to go. So you do this on a daily basis, it can really wear out on you, especially if you're posted out somewhere like construction site, or I know some people are like in weed dispensary farms, like out in the mountains where there's like no human interaction at all. Man, I can imagine if you're a people person, that would start wearing you down after a while. So, if you're not accustomed to being alone and it drives you crazy, this might not be a job for you. All right, moving down the list here. Somebody that has no logic. Dude, I know that, and I've mentioned it before, there's not really much to being a security guard. You just kind of sit there and watch something. But on the flip side, it does require, especially if you're in a high violent area, you need to know how to deal with people. You need to have a sense of logic, right? Common sense, if you guys don't know what logic is. I've seen some guards and cops, for that matter, that just had no common sense. I would see them walk up to somebody, and I'm like, bro, you can't can't approach that guy like this. I can already see the guy is crazy. He's drunk, and you just walked up to him, and you're like, hey, come here. Let me ask you a question. It's like, dude, don't. You gotta approach it totally different. And then, and the response is, well, I don't know how to approach him. And I'm like, bro, use your common sense. The guy's drunk, he's belligerent, and then I realized, wow, this guy has no common sense. So, this might not be the industry for them. So if you lack common sense or logic, maybe try something else. That's just my thoughts, right? That kind of brings us into de-escalation. If you have no de-escalation skills, then this industry definitely is not for you. Unless you're watching some construction equipment and there's no chance of having to de-escalate anything, you definitely need to have those skills. If you're working at, let's say, a mall or a supermarket or an area that has a high volume of people movement, boy, you better have some de-escalation skills, because you're going to run into a lot of problems, and you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble if you are constantly pulling out your taser or your baton. So I definitely just encourage you to learn how to de-escalate a situation. I've got some videos that talk about that. If not, there's a lot of great YouTubers out there. They can provide you advice on how to de-escalate a situation. But a lot of it's just experience. Over time, I've learned how to um, deal with situations. I think when I first started in this industry, I was a little bit rusty, and over time, I've learned how to talk to people and bring them down. So you definitely need to have de-escalation skills, especially as a security guard. Again, our main objective is to observe and report, but if we do encounter somebody that's an issue, we also need to learn how to de-escalate, because we're not at the liberty of just calling backup on our radio, right? If you escalate a situation and it becomes crazy, it's basically you versus that person, or you versus that persons. Could you imagine a crowd? If you get them riled up, it's game over for you, man. So you got to learn how to de-escalate one and multiple people in order to exist in this industry. And the last one is somebody that has no backbone. And what I mean by that is somebody that's afraid. And I have seen some guards that really are afraid. They'll say, oh, yeah, that guy's been known to steal, so I'm just going to stay over here and avoid him. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Just go up to him and say, hey, man, you got to go. But there are some guards that are just afraid to do that. And I don't know where they're coming from. It's like, bro, why are you afraid? But then you have to realize everybody's different. I don't know what kind of life experiences this person's had. There's a reason why he's afraid. And, I pity them, especially when they come across somebody that's twice their size. And I can understand that they're intimidated. But at the same time, your job is to clear the area. If somebody's trespassing, you need to get them out. And if you have no backbone, man, this job's not for you. Again, if you're working at some construction site where you probably will never encounter somebody, you might do good. But if you're in an area where there's a lot of people and you're going to find yourself on the daily trying to get people out or tell them, hey, you can't do that, and you're scared to do that, this job's probably not for you. So, this is not to say that you cannot develop these skills. I know that when I first started, it was kind of awkward to tell somebody to leave. I'm like, oh, this is weird. This is my first person. I'm literally going to go up to this guy and say, how you doing, my man? You can't be here. You got to go. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe I have the power to tell somebody to get off the property. I've never experienced this before. And the first time I did it, I was a little bit nervous. I think I was over friendly. I probably approached it like, how you doing, man? Hey, man, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bother you. And, I feel really bad. I'm going to have to go. That's really not how you want to do it. But I think that's probably the first time I ever kicked somebody out what it looked like. And over time, I developed that ability to just say, hey, how you doing? Look, man, you can't be here. Or I just get them out. I've grown confidence over time. So again, with all of these skills, some of them can be developed, some of them can't. You can't always teach somebody logic. I know there's an old saying that says you can't, what did the guy say? Oh, there's a student that fell asleep in his class, and a teacher said there's no use carving on rotten wood, right? So some people you can't carve them, you can't train them, you can't sharpen them. Again, they might not be for this industry. And when I say they might not be for this industry, it's because they can get themselves hurt or somebody else hurt if they lack in any of these qualities. We're not law enforcement, but we also are somewhere on that gray area of doing law enforcement. And it's a huge responsibility, and you really don't want to mess this up. And then I got one more bonus one, which just a pet peeve of mine, but I I guess you can still do this job and have this negative quality about you, but that would be being sloppy. Man, if you are sloppy, this job should not be for you. I see guards that have their shirts untucked, big guys. Now, if you're a big guy, I can't argue with that. I'm starting to gain a bit of weight here myself. But I've seen guys that are so big, their bellies are out there, they can't tuck the shirt in, or they're wearing like pants that look faded, bleach stains on them. You name it. You know what I'm saying, right? Those guards, man, they are not going to command any respect. As a matter of fact, those are the kind of guys that get stuff thrown at them by teenagers just because they just look so underwhelming. So, if you're that type, please just work on your appearance. It might have to do with the lack of esteem or motivation, but just tucking in your shirt can make a world of difference. Getting shoes that that look decent, or maybe pants that look decent. You know, these things will make you look better and help you be a better person and move up in the industry. But if you're, and again, if you're a big guy, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if you can't fit a shirt because it's too tiny and your belly's popping out, get a bigger shirt, right? So that's just my little pet peeve. I've seen so many guards that you get what I'm saying, right? So I try so hard to filter myself on this channel, and then I end up just muttering. I'm like, I can't come up with the right word because I don't want to say something bad, and occasionally I catch myself. But anyways, guys, so there you go. My thoughts on who should not be a security guard. And if you have any thoughts or anything you want to add, please do let me know. Otherwise, guys, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Going to that one part that says hates being lonely. Well, the YouTube channel helps me not feel so lonely. Right after I upload this, I can be assured that within the next hour, I'm going to have at least 1 or 2 people comment. So it makes me feel good. It's kind of like I'm talking to somebody, right? I don't feel as lonely. But, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was a long one, 17 minutes. Hey, know your worth, know your value your time, and above all, be safe.